This morning, I was reading this book called Mastery, written by Robert Greene. I was researching for my next book. So, I came across this wonderful concept called your life's task. That concept basically tells us that we are all so unique and we are meant to do a particular thing in life, a particular job, a particular profession. Each of us is assigned a unique life's task. So that took me through the memory lane of my CA career and my childhood also. Growing up, I wanted to become a pilot when I was in class 6 7, and then around class 9 10 11, I wanted to become a cricket player. Unfortunately, none of this happened because I came from extremely middle class background from a rural Tanjavur place. So I did not have the means, nor I was extremely driven to somehow pursue this, somehow become that. I had the desire, but I did not have any sort of clarity to take what's the next step. So eventually, I happened to pursue what my parents wanted me to become, which is to become a CA. So I got into CA without any idea of what CAs do. And to be honest, I did not really enjoy the process of doing CA. A lot of you watching this might be from a family of your father, parents, your relatives, all of them could be a CA, so you pretty much would have had an idea of what generally CAs do. So you must have made up your mind pretty much from class 8 9 that I want to become a chartered accountant. But a lot of others also who are watching this video, because of family situations, because of parental pressure, or because of financial reasons, that you don't have any other option to do, CA is the only thing that could be of rescue to you, and you must be doing this CA right now, but you might not like it. Your heart is not in CA right now. This video is particularly for the latter category of people that who are stuck in CA, who feel that who are stuck in CA, but their heart is elsewhere. What advice have I got for you today? The first point I would suggest is that if you have seen this movie Shawshank Redemption, spoiler alert by the way for those who haven't seen, the lead character Andy Dufresne is put into the prison. First he revolts and he wants to somehow escape, but eventually he accepts the reality and he starts to plan his escape. When you are watching this movie for the first time, nobody has any idea about that he is already planning his escape. He started drilling through the wall for 19 years. Slowly, he played the patience game, and eventually, one evening, he was gone. So, all throughout his life in prison, he wanted to get out of the prison, but he kept the process extremely quiet and extremely anonymous. So, that is the primary advice for you that I've got in this video. Keep the escape process quiet. Now, a lot of you watching might want to become a painter, might want to become a fashion designer, you might want to become, who knows, a sports commentator. It could be possible, it can happen, it may not happen. I'm not saying that you will definitely become that, but at least you feel that you deserve a chance to give a fair shot at your passion. In case you are having still some family problems, that you are revolting against your parents, that you are venting out against your parents, that you have put me into this nonsense course, I'm stuck here, neither I could become a professional singer nor I can do the CA happily. My recommendation is, my suggestion is, accept the reality. You have come here for the next 3 to 4 years. Imagine the Shawshank analogy. Andy Dufresne fought for 19 years. He had to scheme for 19 years. You don't have to wait for 19 years. You just have to wait for the next 3 to 4 years. Generate and all the focus and channelize all your focus and energy and attention into becoming a CA. That's the first recommendation I have. Somehow push it for the next 3 to 4 years. I understand the passion, I understand the vigor, but you need to accept the other constraints of your life. You may not have the means to go into, let's say, becoming a fashion designer. You may have the eyes, you may have the hands, you may have the taste for it. But can you really get into a college? Can you really get those contacts? You may or you may not. The chances are that you may not, because you could be hardly 18, 19 or 20, between 18 to 24 who's watching this video. You still need to have a much better idea about how the world works. When I grew up, the 18 to 24, that phase, I pretty much did not have any idea about how the world works. Only around the age 25, I started to have that same sort of maturity. The more I got exposed into this corporates and articleship and dealing with people, I got this worldly knowledge only around 25, 26 years old. And I also happened to clear my CA when I got 26, when I became 26. And I have already told this in one of my previous videos that by the time I was 26, I was already under a debt of 5 lakhs. So the time was perfect that I cleared my CA and I had to get into a corporate job. I said at the beginning of this video, I wanted to become a pilot and I wanted to become a cricket player, during my adolescent age. But while I was doing CA, maybe around 20, 21, 22, when I was just about to finish my articleship, I started to have this desire of becoming a writer. I wanted to become an author. That was the phase where I started reading a lot of books. I used to be a reader since childhood, but the phase between 2021, that was the time I started to read a lot of books. I said, right, you will start to have more awareness the older you grow. For me, that awareness got developed only around 23, 24, because I saw myself that I had a potential to write and I was very good in written communication. I may not be a great oral communicator, but I was pretty good when it comes to writing passages, writing prose. So I wanted to become an author. But then again, I could not have left CA and pursued writing as a career. So I stuck with CA. I finished my CA when I was 26. By the time, just now I told, when I was 26, I had 5 lakh rupees of debt under my name. So I had to take up the corporate job, a CA oriented job. I worked in internal audit department of an FMCG company. I worked for 3 years. And I saved like crazy. I paid off the debt first and then I saved like crazy. I cut down all my frivolous, luxurious expenditures. So 60 to 70% of my salary went to repaying the debts and to save for my future. So slowly, over a period of 3 years, I repaid all the debt of 5 lakhs, plus I had a surplus of some X amount, which was enough to let me live for 1 year without any additional source of income. An amount of money that could sustain me for a whole year even if I quit the job. By the time I finished this process, I was 29, around end of 2019. At that time, I was growing so restless. I could not go to job one day also. I could not find myself going to work. My attention was not there at work. My performance ratings went down and I totally hated the fact that I was going to a job which I totally did not like. I also figured out that it is going to be like this in every company. It's not the company that I hated, or it's not the boss that I hated or anything. I was done with this corporate lifestyle because my heart was in, writing books and becoming an author. I did not know, or I did not plan like how the business is going to work, how am I going to make money or anything. It was growing so restless for me. So I quit my job around end of 2019, and I came out of corporate, and I wanted to write a book. I even didn't know what book I wanted to write. But then 6 7 months later, I started to have an idea. Meanwhile, that was the time we had our COVID first lockdown. Talk about timing. But having taken the time 4 5 months, thinking about a lot of ideas, then I stuck upon the concept that okay, I have always been about connecting with students because I was also teaching while I was working in corporate. I was also teaching for 2 to 3 years. So I really liked the aspect of connecting with students, helping them, helping them academically, helping them in a systemic way, in a process way. So I decided my first book is going to be Substance and Form. So I started writing the process of Substance and Form, and July 2021, I released the book Substance and Form. I became the author. Meanwhile, I also started a teaching business just so that I could support myself going further. So the teaching business started to do well. So the whole point of this story, narrating this story, is wait for 3 to 4 years. Wait till you are, say, 24 or 25. Wait till the world starts to take you a bit more seriously, because when you are 18, 19, and 20, very less chance that the world will take you seriously. Even you might have some genuinely serious productive idea. It could be a business idea, or it could be a career idea, but let the world take you a bit seriously for the next 3 to 4 years. Focus all your energies on CA. Come out of the course as a qualified. Get into a job. Work there for 2 to 3 years. Not just me, a lot of others who worked in my first company where I was working, a lot of my colleagues were also performing side hustles while they were working in corporate. A lot of them were singing in during weekends. They used to have bands, and they were very serious about their bands. So their entire weekends of Saturdays and Sunday, they fully allocated those days for the band. So they used to tour, they used to perform in functions. They used to make videos. They were active on social media. Some of them were doing gardening, farming. Some of them were doing drop shipping. So it's not that you have to quit everything right now and you have to start early or anything, because even when you become CA, even after 3 4 years, you will still be only 25 or 26. And let me tell you, 26 is very, very young from when you see from career point of view. You have not even, I would say, you have not even started your career. So wait till you are 26. If you wait till 26, there is also another good thing that might happen. Until now, maybe if you talk about now, you may be thinking that you have a passion on, let's say, X thing. But if you wait till you are 26, who knows, whatever you think it's your passion right now, you may not be interested in that anymore by the time when you are 26. When you are turned 26, a new life's task might appear in front of you. You may be captivated by some real calling. So whatever you think that you want to become right now, just like how I wanted to become a cricket player when I was young, it was like a shadow calling. It came, I was very passionate about it for maybe a couple of years, but after that I lost the drive, and I did not even want to take a step towards becoming it. So if you ask me today, do I regret the fact that I did not end up becoming a cricket player? Yes, I don't regret it at all. So you can say for sure that it was not my original life's task or original calling. So right now you may think that you want to become a fashion designer, but it could be just a passing cloud. Wait till you become 26. At 26, if you still are very passionate about fashion designing, or if your passion has only grown further, then it is a good indication that you can start to use your weekends for that. From 26 till 29 or 30, keep your corporate job and also keep your side hustles slowly during weekends, during holidays, during off office hours, if at all you manage to find the time. I really believe that yes, corporate schedule these days is pretty hectic. You may come up with an excuse that, Harish, will we have even time? People are working 60, 70 hours. When I get into corporate, will we have time? If you are really that inclined, you will somehow find a way. Right when I was in the middle of corporate career, the quest to become an author, the quest to become a writer started to grow up so heavily that I started writing a blog post on WordPress, and I had to release 2 posts every week. The topic is of anything. I did not restrict myself to a particular topic. I would just write anything that came to my mind. So every Wednesday and every Saturday I was publishing posts. Of course, nobody read. That's a different story. But I just kept the process. When I wanted to become a writer, the first thing you should do is you have to write, isn't it? So my corporate job was extremely hectic, but somehow I figured out a way to squeeze 5 minutes here, there, 5 minutes here, 10 minutes there, to have the post ready and upload those posts on sharply on every Wednesday and Saturday. In that 18-month period where I worked in corporate and I was also writing blogs, I did not miss a single deadline. Every Wednesday, every Saturday, there was a post ready. I was busy with corporate. I was handling difficult audits. I was handling deadlines, but somehow the posts went on time because the drive was extremely heavy for me. All the excuses disappeared, and somehow I was able to prioritize this and I was able to get into this. A couple of points I have before I finish this video is, one good reason why it is advisable to not rebel with your parents right now is, it is very likely that your parent could be anywhere between 45 to 55, which means they could be going through their midlife crisis. Just now you would have crossed your adolescent age, but right now your parents could be in their midlife crisis. And midlife crisis is a place where your parents are not young anymore. They can't call themselves as young anymore. They don't feel young anymore. And they are not old yet as well. They are not also old yet. So they are going through this phase where they question their life choices, whatever they have done over the last 30, 40 years. And they are contemplating about the rest of the time that is left for them, the other 30, 40 years. So they are at an awkward cusp situation. They want stability. So they want you to not take any sort of risk in the next 3 to 4 years. They will be pushing their dreams on you. That is definitely going to happen. Only if that doesn't happen, consider yourself lucky. It's a miracle only if it doesn't happen. The default thing that is going to happen is they will be saying that don't get into music, don't get into cricket, don't get into artwork. Focus on CA, get into a job, make some 70,000, 80,000 per month, get money in the bank. Then you can start to worry about whatever you want to become. So that is going to be their standard statement, and I am not going to blame them for that. It is just their situation. So be mature enough to understand that nobody is going to stop you from pursuing your passion if you are going to make 70, 80,000 per month. The moment you start making some that much amount of money, even if 55,000-60,000 per month, you will start to appear different in your parents' eyes. You would have gained that confidence that you have earned this maturity, that you will not make any big mistakes. So they will also be mentally prepared to let you pursue whatever that you want to pursue. When you cross 29, 30, you don't want to be, you will reach a stage where you don't want to be seeking any permission from your parents anymore. So that is also there. And the last point is, to become CA in the next 3 to 4 years, you have to get your life in order, which means you have to develop systems and become disciplined, to develop that work ethic first. So becoming CA is also not going to be that easy, isn't it? That's why I've been making so many videos. But if you indulge in this path and see it off in the next 4 to 5 years, you would have become a much evolved person, much developed person. I can tell you with 100% surety that had I written Substance and Form when I was 21 or 22, then having written the book in 29, the two books would have looked completely different. The Substance and Form that you see today would not have come had I written that book when I was 22 or 23, because I did not have built any systems in my life. I did not get my life in order. So the book would have exactly represented that. It would have looked extremely half-baked. The quality of Substance and Form that you see today is a direct reflection of the transformation I went through, the systems I built, the discipline that I built, the person I changed into to make myself a CA. You can see that reflecting in the book Substance and Form. So I'm telling you the same way. Your music is not your project. Your art is not your project. You are your project. First work on that. Next 3 to 4 years. Build that system. Get into the rhythm. Get into a daily routine. Transform yourself. Use the transformation to clear CA first. Then get into a job. And then with that new identity, the new you, who has become because of the systems and discipline, would be much better be able to pursue that music or write that book or design that clothing material. I hope this video has given you the clarity that you have been looking for. I will see you in the next video. Thank you for watching. Have a good day. Bye bye.